Woo. We got a good one coming up for you guys next here. And it involves Geno Disconte.
You know that's weird science, dude.
You've been waiting a long time to hear about this, and we've got some weird intel. Now, I don't really know if this is to be trusted, but Geno's ex-girlfriend, Alex Engelbert, the crazy one that we've been showing you these tweets that she posted about him, she contacted our own, not our own, I gotta not be affiliated with him, Mark Viduka. Yes, she said, I'm fed up with Geno. And, you know, she sees Mark Viduka always tweeting mean things about Geno on Twitter, so she reached out to Mark Viduka and said this. This is screenshots posted in the Bring Back group from Mark Viduka from Alex. She messages him out of nowhere and says, hey there, here's Geno's phone number. Do with it what you want. And that number is crossed out. We're not doing anything with his phone number. And this is what started the conversation. So Mark Viduka is like, what the fuck? He says, we don't want his number. She says, oh, fuck, I want to do something to ruin his life. What should we do? Now, remember, you cannot trust her. And when this started happening, I spoke with Viduka. I said, this could all be a Geno setup. Trust no one. But it's still fun. Hey, she wants to tell stuff about Geno. Let's see. Oh, fuck, I want to do something to ruin his life. We scroll down to see the rest of them. And I believe Mark responded back, we don't want to ruin his life. We're not interested in any of that. But if you have any blunders of his, let us know. So he asks, how much does he make at Compound? She says, he makes $200 a week from Kumia. And he's also sick of Artie's bullshit. So there it is. The most reliable source we've got. Geno makes $200 a week doing In Hot Water. Now remember, he is also a guest on 10 other shows per week. Remember, In Hot Water takes hours for Geno to write. He writes out those monologues. He writes out all those bits. They go over this thing with a fine-tooth comb. $200 a week. Now, what's so interesting at this, not only does this go along with our flat brokenness, here's another one. She says, he's also banned from the West Side Comedy Club because Stacy Pressman. My name is Alana Love. We need the Pressman music. What is the Pressman music? It was from Heart. Barracuda. He's banned from the West Side Comedy Club because of Stacy Pressman. She's jealous of me. And he isn't passed at the Comedy Cellar. He had a meltdown over it. Now, if you don't know what that means, my wife had asked, being passed at the Comedy Cellar is where they allow you to perform. Like, you have to audition at the Comedy Cellar doing unpaid guest spots. And if they like you, they pass you. And that means you're available to work there. He has not been passed. He had a meltdown over it, she says. Okay, this is all insider gossip. But let's go back to that $200 a week. And let's dip into a count tweet of the week, because this is really interesting. Let me find that sneaky old count. The count. Come on, the count. This one? I don't think so. Yeah. Okay. This is interesting. This is a tweet from the count the same week, and it reads like this. Glenn Investor writes into the count, a guy named Glenn Investor, and he says, I don't pretend to have a radio show by having a high school radio podcast and asking people to pay to hear you scratch your nuts. The count responds, Compound Media is a multi-million-dollar company, you dimwit. Some investor. Really, you have your finger on the pulse there, don't you? What do you do? From your profile, I guess you sell Amway, which is a really outdated thing, I guess. But this is interesting. Compound Media is a multi-million-dollar company, you dimwit. Now, why would a multi-million-dollar company be paying one of their main talents, the host of In Hot Water, a measly $200 a week? Riddle me that, Dracula. Why would a multi-million-dollar company also not pay the co-host of their 4-day-a-week morning show, Joanne? She has to bartend to make ends meet. So you're either a multi-million-dollar company that's screwing over all your talent, or you're lying about that. But either way, maybe these losers need to see this tweet. I said this tweet where Kumi is calling himself a multi-million-dollar company. Why don't you tweet Geno, add Geno to that, reply and say, why are you only paying Geno $200 a week if you're a multi-million-dollar company? I don't know about you, but if I was working for the Count and he wasn't paying me and then bragging about how it's a multi-million-dollar company, I might be a little upset. So let's get that rift going. Joanne needs to know. Bill Schultz, all of them should be tagged in this tweet, letting them know that they're worth nothing to the Count and that he is ripping them off and taking all the proceeds to himself. Multi-million-dollars, huh? It's a lot of money. Probably the other folder. Okay, let's see. Sunk costs do not necessarily add to the value. Yeah, everyone's got their predictions, but let's just go by the facts here. Count is saying they're a multi-million-dollar company. We know Geno's getting paid $200. We know Joanna's not getting paid at all as a co-host. So there it is. The Geno news of the week.
You know that's weird science, dude.
So very interesting. You know, he's been copying me now. He thinks after all this time, do you know what he's doing to me now? Remember we showed you the shoe post last week? He's calling me Broke Bar, which I believe they call somebody else this already. But his new thing is to call me broke. So he's taking the bit we made about him and just doing it to me. That's what he's stooped to, which is very interesting after all this time. To think that calling me broke will be the way to end this. So it must be, that must have been a hell of a time for him to be called broke, flat broke, poor. He doesn't really like being called that, so now he's going to try to use it on someone else, knowing that that's the most hurtful thing you could do to somebody. That's the Geno Disconte way. He's broke, he's poor, $200 a week. $200. Imagine working that long. It's like, okay, maybe $200 a week when they first started, when Compound's new. You can't get a raise? You can't get any more than a measly $200. You're hosting a show. Just despicable on all levels there. Here it is.
Geno is flat broke. Geno ain't got no money.
Flat broke.
He's always looking so damn crummy.
Flat broke Geno.
Ain't nobody think he's funny. He can't move out of the projects 'cause Geno is flat broke.